Stop. Grammar time. Assalamu alaikum everybody, this is your Arabic teacher Sam and a very warm welcome to episode 1 of Grammar Time. We're going to be doing this over the next couple of weeks. We'll probably at least try to get sort of 4 or 5 episodes in. It'll be a good little thing for me to stick to over the next month or so. We'll continue it well into the new year, inshallah. Maybe do it into the end of January or something and see how you guys like it. But I thought it would be a nice little episode because all we're going to do in this is basically throughout the week with like marking my students' work, being part of conversations about teaching and learning the Arabic language online and stuff, I spot mistakes quite often. They're really, really common mistakes, and I thought it would be nice just to once a week just to sit down together and me just share like 5 or 6 with you that the little grammar mistakes so that you guys can learn from it and that I can pick up on it and I can learn from it too. So what is the first mistake of our grammar time mistake? The first one is, let's have the screen up. The first one is when people write the letter wow. Obviously, when you just have were, it means and. But people often forget that when you say were, it's not its own word. Like in English, and is its own word, but were is always added to the word that comes after it. So, for example, if we were saying like, let's say, for example, let's say you went on safari and you say رأيت أسدا, I saw a lion and an elephant. وفيلا, I saw a lion and an elephant. This were, often students make a mistake and they say were and then they leave a space and they say filan. Okay, that's a mistake. Okay, you can't have that little gap in there. It's really common, and students who write Arabic essays for me to mark, don't think that's going to boost your word count. Okay, I spot you guys, my more advanced students who write Arabic essays for me. Don't do that. Yeah, because it doesn't boost your word count. Don't submit something to me and say, I've written a 1,000-word thing for you to mark for me, Sam. It's not 1,000 words. It's 700. And you've said and way too many times. Okay, so that's a really common mistake, right? People often try to get away with it. It's not an extra word. You need to adjoin it to the next word. And it's exactly the same with the letter fa. When you use fa before things to mean so. Fa usually means so. It does have some other jobs in Arabic, but it's never on its own, okay? You always need to join it to the next word. So that's the mistake number 1, okay? When you use wow to mean and when you use wow al-qasam as well, when you're saying wallahi, or when you're saying, or when Allah uses it in the Quran, it says wash-shamsi, or when he uses it in the Quran, it says wal-fajr. It's always added, okay? Wow isn't its own word. Next mistake that I've spotted is when students use ila, okay? Ila is a preposition, and it means to. And it's usually used to do with direction, moving towards things and stuff. It's often confused with the preposition li, which does mean to, but it usually means for. And the mistake that students usually make is they see, well, with li, if I can say lillahi, and I join onto the word like that, why can't I say ilallahi? Why can't I say ilallahi? We see it with pronouns. When you say assalamu alayhi. Oh no, when you use it with pronouns, sorry, not ala, we're talking about ila. If I say ilayhi, we join it onto pronouns, right? We have ila, and then you can add the pronoun he on the end, or you can say ilayha, or you can say ilaykum. You can have those on the end of ila, but just not with normal nouns. You can with li, but not with ila, right? So if we say ذهبت, I went. ذهبت إلى, to a house, إلى بيت, let's say. ذهبت إلى بيت. I've seen students try to join these together and have like إلى بيت. Yeah, because إلى بيت, right? Because you can do it with li. If you're saying like لبيت, if it was like for a house or something, لبيت, you can do that. But you can't do it with ila, okay? So the thing that students are making mistakes on is thinking that you can join nouns You can join pronouns, sorry, but nouns, you cannot do this, okay? You can't have ila joined onto a noun. It has to be a completely separate word. Next mistake number 3. Oh yeah, this is a really common one. Okay, so it's a rule that I'm going to teach specifically about conjugating verbs into the here in the past tense, right? So when we say here, let's say here جلست. Let's not say جلست actually. Let's say قرأت. 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 You have a sukun on the end. Okay, we learn this, yeah? كتب كتبت. قرأ قرأت. جلس جلست. And whatever verb. خلق. Probably not خلقت. You'd never hear that, but you would hear خلقت. You could hear. Okay, anyways, we have a sukun here. And then there's a little rule. If we have a hamzat wasl here, as in not a hamzat qata' that you pronounce like an sound, this has to be pronounced like an sound. Hamzat wasl needs to have a vowel of some kind. It needs to be connected. Literally, the verb wasala means to arrive. So a vowel needs to arrive with that, right? That's not why it's called hamzat wasl, I don't believe, but a vowel needs to arrive. So we can't say, let's say قرأت let's say al-Qur'an, okay? Al-Qur'ana. If we say she read the Qur'an, yeah? قرأت al-Qur'ana. But this isn't a hamzat qata', as I said, it's not al-Qur'an. So it needs to be قرأت al-Qur'an. You need to carry some vowel. Okay, sometimes it's ul-Qur'an, sometimes it's al-Qur'an, sometimes you hear il-Qur'an. And the same with the word Allah. You know, a lot of students say they often notice that they hear Bismillah. Yeah, let me show you that one. So you often have Bismillahi, Bismillahi, because this is a hamzat wasl. So we carry this sound through to the illahi, Bismillahi. Or if you said something like ma'allah, you know, you hear Allah in that case. Or if it was you do hear Allah sometimes as well. I'm trying to get my pen to work again. There we go. So that's what's going on. So what you do here, when you have a sukun, you don't have any obvious letter. With verbs, is you put a kasra. Okay, you would say qara'atil Qur'an, or katabatil kitab, or you know. خلقت الناقة. Yeah, the she camel was created. خلقت الناقة. Yeah, so when you have these here in the past tense in the sukun, when you need to join that onto a following definite word, you use a kasra at the end. That's kind of like a liaison vowel that we use. It's not always like that. You know, for example, like if you have the preposition ma. Okay, ma'a, we don't have ma'illah, we say ma'allah, but it's more common for it to be a kasra, far more common for it to be a kasra, like like an, you know, an won't behave like that. For example, in Suratun Naba'i, عَمَّا يَتَسَاءَلُونَ, it says عَنِ النَّبَإِ الْعَظِيمِ. It doesn't say an naba, anin naba. It carries the anin naba. So yeah, this sukun kind of becomes a kasra on there for liaison, so you don't have to stop. You don't have to have any qata' going on in between them. Okay, so that's the third mistake that I've spotted throughout the week. Next one. This one's a little bit more advanced, but no problem. So we learn when we're creating a jazm verb or a zero case verb. They refer to that in like an academic tradition. They call it the zero case. Either zero case or jazm when we're doing verbs after lem. So usually you would have lem, and we kind of teach it that you have lem, and then the following verb, if it's singular or doesn't have like a noon on the end, it's not one of the 5 verbs, you will add a sukun on the end. So for example, I did not go. Lam adhab. Lam adhab. You know, we say I did not go. Lam adhab. I did not say. Lam aqul. I did not drink. Lam ashrab. we just have a sukoon on the end. But a lot of students forget that there's a rule about al-af'al al-khamsa. So the 5 verbs, there are 5 verbs that end in a noon, and what a lot of students do. The 5 verbs, we don't need to run through them now, but there's 5 different conjugations of verbs. 2 are the plurals, 2 are the duals, and the enti, when you say like tedrusina, and this net on the end, you have to cut it off. But what a lot of the time students do is they forget to cut that off, and they do something like this. If we'd say something like, you all didn't study. Okay, let's say that. So we take the verb tedrusuna. Tedrusuna. That means you all study, right? But when we make it into the past and we say you all didn't study, and we make this jazm, what a lot of the time people do is they say lam tedrusun, and they put a sukoon on the end of the noon. Okay, you need to learn the 5 verbs, and you need to learn that you don't do that. You do what we call hadf an-noon, you cut the noon off, and actually what you should end up with is this. Tedrusu. Tedrusu, okay? Lam tedrusu. You all did not study. Any of you who are on the Arabic in 60 Steps program, there is a table of the 5 verbs in there in lesson, I don't know, in book 2 though, near the end of book 2 there is in there, so you can go and check that out. Cool, okay, so that's a really common mistake, okay? The same with nasab verbs as well, when we use len for the future. If we're saying like, you all will not study, yeah? Len tedrusu is actually how it should be. You need to do hadf an-noon. Yeah, you need to do that. Len tedrusu. Len tedrusu. But actually what a lot of people do is they think that the fatha on the end of tedrusuna is the way that you make it nasab. It's not right, okay? You need to learn the 5 verbs, and you need to understand that they cut the noon off on the end. Next. Okay, this is a really quick little just tweak that you can make. So when importing foreign words into Arabic, so let's say like the example that I saw was with a student called Lucy. Let's say your name is Lucy, and you spell it like that. Even though the Lucy, the U and the C sound like short letters, you can't write it like this, Lucy. You can't write it like that. When you're importing foreign words, write all the vowels out long. Lucy. Lucy. It makes them look more foreign, and they're easy to acknowledge that it's a foreign name. We don't need to make it agree with any like Arabic language patterns or anything like that. Like because sometimes the Arabic speaking brain, it can be confusing to Arabs to if there's a name that Arabs that isn't sort of familiar to the Arabs or doesn't have a pattern like the Arabic language does. It can be sometimes difficult to kind of know how it's correctly pronounced. But a name like that, you would obviously spot that it is a foreign word. Do you know what I mean? You spot that it's just a foreign name, Lucy. It doesn't sound like any sort of... it doesn't really sound like anything particularly common in Arabic unless you're reciting in a certain style in the Quran, when you can say the name Musa as Musi. Hal atika hadithu Musi. That's a way of reciting in the Quran. It's less common, but perhaps Musi. The name Musa is recited like that in a recitation of the Quran, but it's very rare, right? The point is, when you're importing foreign words, and especially foreign names, and you're spelling your name in Arabic, write all the letters as long vowels. Okay, put all the long vowels in. Like my name, Sam. The A in the middle of Sam is about as short as it gets. Okay, but I shouldn't write my name Sam like that. I write my name Sam. Despite that word meaning poison. That's irrelevant for now. Despite that, write in all the vowels. Okay, that's how you'll write your name. Or generally when you're importing foreign words, like names of towns and stuff as well. Like if you're importing them into Arabic, put all the long vowels in. Yeah, that's the best way to do it. Cool. Okay, so that's the 5 grammar mistakes that I've seen for this week's episode of Grammar Time. Good. So I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, don't you dare forget to like and share it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if it's your first time here. Before we go, I'll just remind you guys, the Arabic in 60 Steps program is open, accepting students, and I'd love to have every single one of you on board. So don't forget to click the link below if you're interested in my program and sign yourself up, inshallah. I look forward to seeing you guys in there or in the next video. and I'll see you then. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.